Okay, thank you so much. First of all, I'd like to thank Oyin and the organizing committee for thinking about inviting me to this amazing event. And I really would not have thought about coming to this building in the first place. And in fact, this is the event that is very important, not only for me, but I think for the African community and non-African community here on campus and beyond. And I also would love to thank my friend, I think she's not here yet, Sandra, who introduced me to this event in the first place. And she talked to me about the event, and I was really happy, and I got inclined even more to attend. So when I talked to Oyin a couple of days ago, as she invited me to this event, and she said I'm invited to give spoken words. And my first reaction was like, well, yeah, I love poetry. So I think, just to correct the MC, I'm the person who loves poetry, but I'm not like a poet. And I do write. I have authored 2 novels, but I'm not like a poet. But I love poetry. And I love poetry because it's a way of embodying what we know and what we want to know about almost everything. So that's why I love it. And so I said, I'm not a poet. And she said, don't worry, all we need is just spoken words. And I thought that's another way of telling me, come here and speak some rhythmic stuff about the beloved continent of Africa. And that's another way of saying, recite or do something about poems. And I said, okay, I don't know, I'll see what I can do. So, but anyway, whether it is poetry or spoken words, there is no way one can deny that anything you choose to speak about the continent of Africa, it is strong and gorgeous, no matter the form you choose. So I'm a president of the African Languages and Cultures Club here at IU, and a PhD student of folklore with a master's degree in African studies, and I'm from Tanzania. Therefore, events like this is very integral to my continuum of discussion about Africa, and I enjoy being here. I just want to pose a little reminder today before I do actually what I've been called here to do, which you already recognize, obviously, about the beauty of the African continent. And this is our triple heritage. So when the renowned African scholar, Ali Mazrui, introduced this concept of triple heritage in 2000, he meant the combination of 3 major cultural influences shaping modern Africa: indigenous African traditions on one hand, Islamic influences from the East, and Western colonial or Western integration on the other hand. And there is the complex blend of these 3 forces in African identity and cultures as we know them today. And one of the things defining the African indigeneity that is introduced by that triple heritage is our ecology. Let's take an example of Nile River, one of the very significant ecological patterns or signs of the continent. River Nile represents Africa's triple heritage by suggesting that the river, originating from the interior of the continent of Africa, represents the African culture, while its flow through Egypt represents the integration of Islamic civilizations. And at the same time, its connection to Western world through the Mediterranean Sea shows the connection with the Western world. And this is the triple heritage. So we are talking about the illustration of the 3 major cultural forces that shape Africa's identity, and that is its beauty. In other words, it doesn't matter what stands in the way, be it the media representation of the people, or the political forces dividing the people based on their places of origin, religious beliefs and practices, or their economic potential. At the center of our triple heritage is our indigeneity, protected in our ecology. I think we, the multidisciplinary scholars in the diaspora, are indebted to understanding this heritage and calling for the union, not divisiveness of the people back in the continent. And with that, I would like to end by reciting a poem by Ngugi wa Thiong'o, one of my favorite African writers, adopted from his most recent publication of 2018, The Perfect Nine, the Epic of Gikuyu and Mumbi. Gikuyu and Mumbi are the father and mother of the Kenyan Gikuyu folklore. Think of them as Adam and Eve in the Christian Bible. When God created Gikuyu and Mumbi, he assigned them power and leadership to the land. And this assignment was done under the Mugumo tree, the tree of life. Therefore, in this poem, Gikuyu and Mumbi announce power and inheritance to the 10 daughters, the mothers of the 9 clans of the Gikuyu community. So let this poem guide us into thinking about the power of African ecology and unity. And let us embrace our triple heritage as a sign of union in diversity. And here's the poem. 9 months after the return of Warigia from her parents, Gikuyu and Mumbi called for a gathering of the perfect 9. Together with their husbands and their children, they ate food and drank porridge, and they sang and beat drums in joy. In the evening, just before dark, Gikuyu spoke to the gathering. Gikuyu said, "Now all of you can see that gray hair has covered our heads. Even our voices have lost strength. The arm has not the power to throw a spear or hold a sword. Our eyes can no longer see the target in the game of the arrows, but we are blessed. You, the perfect 9, have given us the foundation of 9 clans, the perfect 9. But our time has come. Tomorrow, we are going on a journey. We are going to the mountains from which we came. In case we don't return, I leave you with these words. Don't look for me in the wicked deeds. Don't look for me in theft and robbery. Don't look for me in idleness. Don't look for me in senseless violence. Don't look for me in hatred. Don't look for me in meaningless wars. Don't look for me in bloodletting strife. For my name must not be in the mouths of those plotting wicked deeds." And Mumbi said, "Look for me in the water. Look for me in the wind. Look for me in the soil. Look for me in the fire. Look for me in the sun, even in the stars. Look for me in the rain. Look for me among the tillers. Look for me in the harvests. Look for me in love. Look for me in unity. Look for me among the helping. Look for me among the oppressed. Look for me among the seekers of justice, those who give food to the hungry, water to the thirsty. Look for me among those helping the ailing. Look for me among them without clothes and shelter. Look for me among those building the nation in the name of the human." And Gikuyu and Mumbi said in unison, "If you do that, we are together